All right, so welcome on another episode of Jeremy Cantor's Ohio Prospecting. And today, we're setting up a mine. And here's a test sample hole. And over in the field, there's another test hole and a few more test holes all along the field. And this is what the test samples look like. So we're gonna go over to the creek over here, see what's in there, see if we got any good gold from the first test hole out in the field. Then I'm gonna do a test sample from this. And this is a pretty deep hole. That's 4 feet down, and once he got 4 feet down, he started hitting big gravel. Like so. So let's get into it and see what we're gonna find today. And let's show you guys that nice wash plant that I built over the week, well, last couple weeks. Okay, so we're down in the hole, and as you can see, it starts turning layers to gravels. It's all of a sudden down to these nice packed sands and gravels down here, which is really dark seam. That's pretty nice. Probably shouldn't be in this hole. What's up, kitty? But yeah, I jumped down in here because I wanted to look at the layers, and also I want to take a sample from just this layer right here. And as you can see, it kind of comes back up over this way and goes at an angle right here. That's kind of cool. What's up, Katie? Is Matt still over that way with the tractor? I can hear him. He's loading up my equipment. All right, so let's get a sample. Let's go ahead and grab this. Oh, get down in here. All right, so we're gonna take a sample from right in there. We're just gonna use the old hand shovel. Oh yeah, that stuff's packed in there nice and tight, but there's the small gravels I was looking for. First pan I did from in the middle of the field, lots of sand and lots of little, oh, that's really packed in there, man. Ooh, rusty. Can you see? Oh, sorry, we lost you there for a second. All right. So we're just getting this sand and gravel from underneath these rocks and trying to get that gravel layer right there. It's nice and dark. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if you guys could tell that darkness or not. Oh, it's probably because the phone's zoomed in like 6 times. There we go. Sorry. But yeah, see these darker colored rocks? That's nice. We're gonna get that all in there. Scoop up a nice pan using my hand shovel. That's the layer we want. All right, so let's get over to the water. All right, so let's pan this one out. Got it down in the water there. And not too much clay like the other one. A lot more sand and bigger gravels and littler gravels. So let's see what's in this. And hoping it's good. All right, so that's the layer for sure. Because there's a nice big chunky flake right there, and there was another one that went flying down the pan, and that wasn't a piece of Formica either. Nice chunk. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, that dark layer got some decent chunky. So let's bring up that layer. Let's get the tractor down here, build us up a pay pile, get the wash plant put up, and be right back. Getting the area leveled out for the wash plant. Getting us a nice flat area over towards the water source. Pretty freaking cool. This is awesome. I've always wanted to do stuff like this. And now I am. Thank you, YouTube. Yeah, we just got to get a nice flat spot, get this hump out over here and push it forward a little bit. This is awesome. All right, I'll be right back. So I had it running like a beast. I got my 1-inch pump, as you can see, hooked up to it because the 3-inch, it goes all fireman style and takes off like a water jet. Yeah, we got to get a longer hose for the 3-inch pump. I'm gonna leave that here for him so he can go ahead and do that, and then he can run this as much as he wants. He'll just have to switch out my dream mat for his combo dream mat that he has. And over there is the sluice fox mat. Down there is both pumps. My 1-inch way down there. I can't believe that 1-inch carried that water all the way up to the wash plant. Nice. My pay pile's right there, and as you can see, property owner over there digging in that sample hole, getting that nice good dirt on out of there, which is full of black sand. Yeah, the blonde sand kind of covered it up. But you'll have that. Yeah, it was a nice dark layer right there. So not saying that we'll get too much gold today, because we're just starting this operation and getting it up and running. This is trial 1, take 1. So yeah, let's get some more pay over here, because this darker bit of pay is not too great. It's just scrapings from here. But this right here, that's the good stuff.
Did you get that on film?
Right here at this point, I'm washing rocks down, because without that motor to shake up the top, the clay stuck rocks are still covered in clay, so I have to do it by hand. But with some of the innovations that we will make to this, it will be able to vibrate material down efficiently and break all that clay up, especially with the rack that we have in the top that kind of holds material there pretty good a little bit. But it will move material.
Lift you up.
I don't know what it is. There we go. As you can see all that black sand trailing out of there? Nice. A bit of the sand and clay gets stuck up under there and creates a little sand mat. So you gotta lift the screen a little bit and let it all come down. But once we get the vibrating motor hooked up on this, we'll have no problem with that. But look at all this black sand just trailing down. Pretty much all black sand. Hard to get it coat. Oh wow.
It's packed in there, dude.
Nice. All right. So we're gonna keep working at it, and I'll see you guys back at the house. All right, we're back over at Matt's hole, and man, it's turning into a quarry over here. It's a big hole. And as you can see, all along this edge, right over there, right where it starts caving back in there, that's all that nice layer line where it's all thick black sand, man. And just to show you, let's go head over to the wash plant and see what kind of gold's up in the top mat. All right, so there's a piece right there, tip of my finger. Nice one there. Scoot on up. Tip of my finger again, nice one over there. And over here. A little bit harder to see, but right there. Not too bad. I like this sluice fox mat, not too bad. I'm gonna get another one for the other side. I gotta take my dream mat home though. But I should be able to get them another one out here real soon. And we're gonna add miner's moss and expansion metal up here in the top and move the sluice fox mats down to here. So that way it's as a secondary catch past all that. And then we'll be a full operation and catching all kinds of gold. Let's get home and see that cleanup. All right, so I'm back at the house, and you see I'm at my favorite part. I already got the cleanup sluice ready and primed. And as you know, this material's from 2.5 foot down where we found that nice layer of dark material, and there was a lot of black sand in there. Can't see it with the blonde sand on top, but as soon as you move a little bit of it, it gets dark down in there. So let me get this ran through there. Let's see what we got today. All right, so what kind of gold was in that nice test hole? Some nice chunky. Look at that big piece there. That is amazing. And it's a little bit rougher than the gold that's in the creek. Nice and chunky. And yeah, there were some little shardy like pieces where it's a little bit like, yeah, if you can see right there, tip of my finger, right below that big piece. Yeah, there's some little triangle like shaped pieces. Definitely some nice gold. I'm liking that big piece. If there's some more of that down there, we could definitely use a lot more of that. And this was just a test sample. And I'm assuring that we did have some losses, seeing how we only had the 2 mats up in the top and I didn't have the miner's moss yet, and the expansion metal, the carpet, and the vibrating motor to go up onto the top shaker deck. Once I get all that set up, then we'll definitely be able to break up that clay that's all with all that sand and gravel, which I know is containing a lot more of this gold. So I'm saying this is probably only a 1/10 of what we should have caught that day, but pretty good. There's definitely some nice gold down in that layer, and we got a lot to go through. So let's improve that machine a little bit better, and let's see if we can increase the gold numbers. All right, that's all I got time for on this one. Make sure. Being said, this is a nice place around here. I'm going to call it the Ancient River, Montana. Because it's got some nice gold, some chunky gold, some nice big pieces. I'm pretty stoked about that. I could almost pick it up. It's not quite a picker. It's a poker. Yeah. With all that being said, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you out there. Later. Oh, and one more thing. Today, the landowner was actually able to rebuild the spray bar on top, and he did it quite nicely. So now we have a wraparound spray bar on the top, and we have the 3-inch pump hooked back up and running, finally. It's going to be nice. So now it's just up to me to get the miner's moss and expansion metal, and one more of those sluice fox mats, the Green River matting, because that because that catches the gold quite nicely. That's a tongue twister sometimes. And yeah, I was seeing a lot of gold on that mat, and I want to see that in the near future on both sides with some miner's moss. So, all right, see you later.